Let's face it, 2024 was a mixed year for DCS. Starting off with the merging of the open and beta and stable branches, then the release of the F4 Phantom, and then the dispute between Razbam and Eagle Dynamics going public. Oh, and the Chinook came out. I completely forgot about that. It's important to remember that amongst all of the fun we've been having in the virtual skies this year, that we can't forget the most important part of flight simulation: nitpicking the absolute fuck out of every little thing. Due to an inflated sense of self-importance due to having the slightest bit of relevance within the online space, someone recognised me in a War Thunder match. I'm sure you would all like to know what the opinion of someone who depicts themselves as a talking aeroplane on the internet is. And no, it's not a fetish thing, you can be sure of that, because if it was, I'd be making more money off of it. But really, if there's one thing that Eagle Dynamics likes, it's taking shit from just one more person. So, without further ado, wish number one: the resolution of the conflict between Razbam and Eagle Dynamics. Things up between Razbam and Eagle Dynamics is potentially one of the largest military operations ever undertaken by the Ecuadorian Air Force. Just like eating too much pound cake from an American MRE, it's starting to get a little bit worrying that nothing's come out yet. Having had not heard anything for so long virtually confirms one thing: this is deep in lawyer territory. The effect on morale within the DCS community that this has had cannot be overstated. There are more than a few people that are steering clear of DCS as a whole as a result. All we can hope for is that the resolution will be reasonable for everyone involved and Razbam can get back to work. I daydream that they've been working on the F-15E in the background, and once everything gets worked out, we'll get the patch of a lifetime for it, but I'm not so sure. And I just really, really want the MiG-23. Wish number two: improved patching. When your DCS install is getting up to half a terabyte, patch day becomes a terrifying concept. To install any DCS patch, you have to have enough free space on your computer to download the entirety of the patch. So if someone moves a house on Kola Peninsula, you've got to delete half of your doujinshi collection. My router is a block of wood with a coat hanger sticking out of it. I would happily settle for some way of managing downloads without having to eviscerate my internet for at least 3 hours. Some way of managing the downloads and making so I don't need to have 300 gigs of headroom on the drive that DCS is installed would be a godsend. Or even just being able to delimit the download speeds. Wish number three: for the full fidelity MiG-29 to release this year, and for it to be much further through development than the CH-47 was. In the context of the infighting between Razbam and Eagle Dynamics, there was some speculation that the Chinook being released early was a cash grab to raise funds for a nearly broke company. There didn't seem to be much solid evidence at the time, but the worst possible scenario is for the MiG-29 to come out before any kind of conclusion of the issue between the two companies and being half-baked. Basically a surefire way to shatter what morale is left within the DCS community. That being said, even if everything was fantastic, we would still be complaining on the forums about the lack of accuracy behind the F-16's bum piss mode or some shit like that. Wish number four: 2 extra sidewinders on the F5E. That's it. The F5E is like the red-headed stepchild of DCS. Its owners will maintain that it is perfectly capable and worthy of love, but everyone knows that's only half true. With its wheezing hairdryer engines, this poor plane got a much-deserved graphical upgrade, but there was a bit of a sour taste that went along with it. There was no update to the interior 3D model, and with no new weapons, that $10 price tag really didn't feel very worth it. However, as any person who's met a lady outside of a shady Taiwanese nightclub, $10 can be a pretty good deal, especially if she's packing a little bit more than you're expecting. I want to love this plane. 2 more sidewinders, whilst maybe possibly potentially not being used on this laser-specific version of the F5E, would go a long way to making this thing feel a little bit less of a wet blanket when it comes to those increasingly popular Cold War servers.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Update the interior model and give it a few extra weapons, suddenly that $10 feels like something I really want to spend. And wish number 5, an F111 module. What, you thought this was all going to be existential musing about the state of DCS? I still play it every day. I get excited for almost every new module. I'm sorry, but the LA5, I genuinely do not know where you're supposed to fit in this game. And I just love learning and clicking around our little virtual cockpits. It's true, you can be rightfully upset about the state of DCS, and I highly encourage you to vote with your dollars when it comes to the state of the sim, but don't let that hold you back from enjoying what you've got. Remember that there's fun to be had in the skies, and if you're not enjoying it, save yourself some hard drive space, come back to it later. Or get into arguments on the forums, who am I to tell you how to have fun? So tell me, what are your wishes for DCS in 2025? Please do comment down below, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to point out that presenting yourself on the internet as an aeroplane is weird. I've got a Discord and stream regularly. I'll see you soon.